Good evening, everybody, and I'd like to say thank you to everyone that's made the arrangements for tonight. In 1993, me and about half a dozen other people sat down in a room in the London School of Economics and we formed the UK Independence Party. Now, it was founded on about three fundamental principles. Number one was unconditional withdrawal from the European Union. Number two was that we would not be a one-issue party or a pressure group because they will never win votes in domestic elections. And number three, that we would become a force in national politics. 17 years later, our achievement is unique in British political history. You don't need me to tell you. We came second in a national election. We beat the government into third place on 16.5% of the vote and have now got 13 MEPs working hard for our party and our cause in the European Parliament and back here. The new leader is going to face some very severe challenges, but I think after yesterday, one issue has been simplified, and of course I refer to Mr. Hague's statement that there would be no referendum on the Lisbon Treaty. Last night at 9 o'clock I was the first interview on BBC 24 News Channel, and what I told them and whoever was watching around the country were these key messages. We now know there is no doubt that you cannot trust the Tories on Europe. UKIP is the only withdrawalist party. Cameron's promises to renegotiate, which we've seen a bit more of this afternoon, will be laughed at by the European Union. And the anti-EU vote in this country will only have one respectable place to go, and that's the UK Independence Party. The whole issue has now been reduced to a simple in or out question. And this is where I do agree with Cameron. Now, it isn't about having a referendum on Lisbon, it's about getting out. And we will have a unique message in the general election. So what is going to happen in 2010 in the general election? Well, I think that we thought that a lot of those Tory votes that we got last June wouldn't stick and they'd go back to the Tories because the Tories are likely to win. I don't think that's going to happen now. I think a lot of those votes are going to stick with UKIP. The Labour vote is very likely to collapse. Even the working class now are getting the message that Labour doesn't represent them. It actually represents two different classes, which are the underclass, which survive on benefits, and small ethnic minority pressure groups, which have got a political agenda of their own. We have to win those Labour votes. That is key, I believe, to that campaign in next year. And we have to do that by appealing across the board with popular policies. It must be done by ideas. There are a lot of disenchanted voters out there who care about things like immigration, about crime, about their jobs and their pensions. They are absolutely fed up to the back teeth with what's happening with this country, and nobody in the political class is speaking up for them. They're just making noises. Well, we don't just make noises, we say what we mean. We will develop policies which those people will respond to. It isn't about whether we can fund them or whether we can actually do them, because we're probably not going to form the government next May. But this is what people want to vote for, because they want to register what they want, and they want somebody in Parliament speaking up for them about the things that they actually care about. Now, I hadn't had time to give them out, but I've got my election address, if you'd like to come up and collect it afterwards, and a little pamphlet I've written on immigration to tell you a bit more about my ideas on that. And of course, you probably all know that I publish this every year, How Much Does the European Union Cost Britain?, which I'm about the only person that had a serious attempt to actually quantify that. And these figures are published by the Bruges Group and appear in the national press. Now, what kind of leader will I be? I am an unapologetic, unconditional withdrawalist. No ifs, buts or qualifications. Free trade agreements are a consequence of leaving, not a condition of leaving. Under my leadership, there will be no deals with the so-called Eurosceptic candidates from other parties. It will send out totally the wrong message that we're not a serious political party. Now, as leader, I will form a political committee to give me advice. I will have a fundraising committee to address the most serious thing which confronts us, which is money. And I will lead according to the constitution of the party. I will provide the political and organisational leadership that it says the leader should. I will invite all the MEPs and people from outside of the MEP group to become spokesmen on policy areas and to help develop those policies so that they can represent us in the media. We must have more faces in the media. We must have that so that people see half a dozen faces. UKIP's a big, strong party. It's successful. We can vote for it. It's going to be difficult under the first past the post system, but I believe, as leader, I will put all my efforts behind getting Nigel elected in Buckingham and as many more MPs as we can get after that. But on a personal basis, I am very much in favour of electoral reform, and I will argue for that. Now, I will give every officer in the party a job description with clear responsibilities. I will let them get on with those responsibilities, and I will expect the party to be run by one clear set of rules that are equally applied to everybody. If that had happened in the past, we might not have had some of the problems that we've had. I can't make you any rash promises about what I can deliver. What I'll tell you that I'll do is to work as hard as I've worked in the past for UKIP. I will keep to the party's founding principles, unconditional withdrawal, wide policy base, and to become a force in politics. And if I shouldn't win, then I will work just as hard for whoever does win to try and achieve what we want, which is Britain out of the European Union and a strong patriotic country run according to the national interest and not Brussels.